Hey everyone, welcome to the Permission Portal with Paulmarq and Laz. I'm Paulmarq.
And I'm Laz. Let's open the portal.
Today we are giving permission to seek pleasure. And I love this topic because I'm a pleasure seeker. I want all of my senses to be stimulated. I can't wait to talk about my pleasure journey. A lot of the things that I have done, I've spoken about in different places, so people may know parts of my story here or there. So, Laz, I want to know about your pleasure story.
Ooh, well, you could say really my real pleasure story without any
Hmm.
shame. It's only a couple years long.
Really? Okay.
Without shame, like
Hmm.
complete and total, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
So, where did you discover it before the shame thing came on? Like, what was
Oh,
your actual?
well, with myself when I was a kid, look 12, 13 years old in my
Mhm.
room, probably at night on cable with little fuzzy snowy TV with soft porn or whatever that you couldn't get. I think it was pay per view. Didn't pay for it, couldn't get access to, or one of those late. It was something like that. But I had this like
Skinamax, we used to call
14-inch
it.
TV that I could turn to a certain channel at a certain time of night, and it was like half snow, half the
Hmm.
audio sucked, but it you got the drift of what it was. And so like I would just remember touching myself, and then the first time I came, I was like, whoa, what is that?
Mm.
Like, oh. And then I was like, I like this. But then, also growing up as a kid in a very religious household, no sex before marriage, and anything about it was
Mhm.
shame.
That's
You had to
interesting
hide it.
because I had been introduced to sexuality through a molestation. So I kind of knew, but like there was no finishing point. So I
Mm,
was like, why does anybody do this? But I knew what went where and how it was supposed to work. I was really curious. And, I would get these erections that were just in my way. Like, I remember from, because even as a kid, I was like, can I just take this off and leave it at home? Because it just bothers me, I would see that, or I would see things that would get me excited, and I'd be like, God, I don't want to deal with that right now. My uncle was an avid reader, and I had gone to his house and had gotten one of his books. There was a racy scene in it. This guy, I know it was a male character, and he was describing masturbation
mm.
using his hand and all the furiousness. My little know it all self was like, that doesn't work. Later on, it just kind of stuck with me. And before that, I didn't even say things like bullshit or whatever. I was such a goody two shoes
Yeah.
kid. And I was like, that just doesn't work. But the seed had been planted. And so later on, I'm like, let me just try this out to prove it doesn't work.
And then you proved it did.
And and after a
Hey,
really good nap,
no, it does work. I like
yeah,
this.
I remember that I went to Catholic school and I
Yeah.
decided I was going to be a Franciscan nun. And so sex was never a thing for me. I had decided that
Hey,
sex was
that's
something that you waited until you fell in love.
right. Right.
But there was a time where I was kind of a rules girl, where I was like, you don't put out until you get a ring. I discovered Dr. Ruth and was inspired by
Oh,
her.
I remember.
And within my friend group, I was the person that everybody came to talk about sex because I was so open about it. It wasn't that I was doing it so much. I didn't start actually doing it until I was 14, but I was curious about it. And I thought that I was going to be the Black Dr. Ruth back in the day. I used to do her voice is for comedic purposes, but I also listened to her all the time and I just knew a lot of the stuff that people had questions and they felt comfortable coming to me to ask about those
Yeah.
questions. So that's kind of how I started. And I've always been very sex positive. I don't do all the things, but we can talk about anything. So our special guest is actually, I've said that she inspired me in so many different ways, but really my eyeglass collection is because of her and because of the way that she showed up when we met and how she continues to show up. I am just in awe of her. She is so fantastic. I'm just going to read a little bit about her. So, Goody Howard, MSW, MPH, make sure we get those letters in, is your favorite sex educator's favorite sex educator. She shifts the culture forward by expanding society's understanding of sexuality and health while connecting people to pleasure with confidence. Goody has been a sex ed superhero for almost 20 years and has committed her life's work to normalizing sexuality as a social determinant of health. So, welcome to the portal, Goody Howard. Real
Yay.
applause.
What's up, Goody?
Yay! I love that. Listen, because you don't know who's hard of hearing and who's not.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it's not accessible, it's not revolutionary if it's not accessible.
Hmm.
And I consider myself revolutionary. So I'm infusing all kind of stuff in. You never know where you're gonna get some stuff from me. I love this because people don't know that it's ASL for applause.
Yes.
Some people, some people don't, but I don't know what to do with my hands when I get introduced in such a dope way. And so I just be like, yay.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, it reminded me of being on a roller coaster,
Mm,
going down that first hill, and you're like, you know,
yes,
and I love
very
that.
much that.
Plus, I was in musical theater, so jazz hands, like
Yes,
always do, jazz
very
hands,
much.
jazz hands, and spirit fingers.
Oh, I was mixing it up. I said spirit hands.
Oh yeah, you doing all kind of stuff. You
You
making
do
up all
all
kind
the
of stuff.
stuff.
No, that's then the spirit thing is very much cheerleading. Cheerleading and
Right.
pageantry are a sport in Texas.
Yes,
So
Yep.
yes. I was not an athlete, but I was always an athletic supporter.
I see what you did there.
Ah,
Oh, that makes me happy. I love that you put my MSW in PH because student loans matter.
Yeah.
Like until somebody erases them, they
Right?
matter. And I want to point out that the reason I got the SW, the Master of Social Work, and the Master of
Hmm.
Public Health is to make people comfortable paying my rate.
Yes.
But sexual health is public health.
Mhm.
Social work, sex ed is social work. So it's in a broader, I need people to see all the places that
Yes.
sex ed is not only present but legitimate because people
Hmm.
hear sex and don't hear the ed. And they think
Right.
because they like fucking, they can do what I do. And that's like going to a Michelin star restaurant and thinking because you ate that food, you can make that food.
Right.
ooh.
Yes.
And,
Man,
and
say
so
that
I make,
again.
yeah, so I try to make sure that, especially like, I love that you said you're sex positive, but that doesn't mean that you're doing everything. Because people think, oh, she a sexologist, she a sex educator, she doing everything. I am aware. People be surprised what my lines in the sand are. But my job is to help people have the most pleasurable, satisfying, healthiest, safest sex they can. And so I'm aware of all the things. I'm always learning new things,
Yeah.
but I don't do everything. And I'm not gonna judge or shame either. I feel like I'm pro queen and pro hoe. And I don't think
Yeah.
people don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you wanted to be a nun. I think that's fascinating because honey, the dichotomy, like the duality. I'm like, that ain't the Paulmarq I meant, but I feel that sexuality and orgasm is a very spiritual and holy experience.
Yep.
I don't think that God has a gender.
Agreed.
And the Kama Sutra is a holy text rooted in the fact that
Yes.
orgasm is as close as you can get to God without dying. So
Yeah.
the positions are essentially praise.
How can you have good
Let's
sex without
go.
without
Yo.
calling in God?
And when
How can you
and
have
where two or more are gathered,
Yeah.
we make a joyful noise.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yo,
it. Don't do
I
it.
love Goody. Goody, let's go.
Yes,
Don't, you
let's
know what I'm
make
saying?
it
Let's
Don't,
happen.
go,
don't
Goody.
do me.
Oh,
I'm not a
snap.
Christian, but I do have a sex positive Christianity certification
Yes.
because
Yo, for real?
degrees and certifications are one of my love languages.
Podcast.
But I actually have a sex positive Christianity certification because Texas is the
Yes.
buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yo,
Mhm.
And so to have these conversations in faith-based communities in a affirming and respectful and supportive way that they can pick
Mhm.
up what I'm putting down. I mean, I'm
Exactly.
church, I can pass. I'm
Yeah.
churched, but they're like toolkits and certain verses and passages and things that people can connect to in a way that gives them permission to connect to pleasure with confidence. And I love that,
Yeah.
like we were talking pre-show, and you were saying how your hair color and your glasses and things. And this is the permission portal. I heard this phrase, and I can't remember who said it, but they are a beacon of permission.
Mm.
And that's what it made me think of, because sometimes you don't know it's a thing until you see somebody else doing it. You see somebody that look like you doing it, or somebody
Yes.
that you identify with doing it. And it's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And not only will you do it, you may do it and do it better.
Well, so many things have happened even in my household because I'm the youngest and there's a huge age gap. So my oldest brother was a Black Panther, and I grew up in the suburbs going to white schools. And so there were times where my brother would say, "Oh, I forget you not black," or you coming in with this white people shit, And I was like, "Look, we came from the same place, so if you black, I'm black."
And if I'm black and I'm doing it, it's black people shit. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm black and I'm doing it, it's black people shit. Plus,
Mhm.
I hear all the time white people shit, especially when we get into having, conversations around gender identity, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes,
But, that's white
yes.
people shit. If you so black, then you would know that on the continent, gender identity was fluid, sexuality was fluid until the colonizers came. Because you
Exactly.
can't control what you can't understand. So they said, oh,
Mhm.
no. Either you a boy or you a girl getting these boxes. Either you gay or you straight getting these
You know
boxes.
what?
Now we got a guide to sell you and a boat ride. So
Right.
don't every time somebody that's pro-black comes say something to me,
Right.
that's the first thing I say,
Mhm.
and they're just sitting there looking at me, because it wasn't sexuality. It was, you just have sex with somebody. You like them, they like you. You have
Right.
sex. It didn't matter if they were male or female or what have you. You have, women hunters and women soldiers,
Mhm.
and like there were the gender roles looked very different. And even in nature, the women are the hunters. The lions, the women are the hunters. The men
Yeah.
stay home.
And they
So
share a man.
So it's very much when people try to have those conversations.
Right.
Okay, I'm like, baby, I just look like this. Okay, don't get embarrassed. Don't let the blonde hair, red lipstick fool you.
Right.
Okay.
A
So,
couple
okay,
years.
to be a nun because I was a social climber.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
if you're gonna marry up, how far up can you go?
The Lord.
Exactly. I was like, I'm gonna, and you get a ring. I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
give me that ring. And Jesus on the cross, they made him look really hot.
He was hot.
I was like, I want some of all that.
I
Yeah, I
like that.
know.
Frustrated.
Sometimes he has an 8-pack.
You know what I'm saying? And they had him carrying the cross. That was heavy. If I was attracted to white men, Jesus could have got it.
Right.
Now I can appreciate and be like, I see how you got there. I can appreciate.
But now, have you seen the pictures of Black Jesus?
Yes.
Now, he could get it too. He
Oh, yeah.
definitely could get it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
You remember on A Different World, Shaza Zulu?
oh, yes, yes.
That is Black Jesus. Now, he looked real different now. He's still handsome. He looked real different
Right,
now, though.
yes.
But listen, in my mind, that's what Black Jesus looked like.
Exactly.
I was with it. But no, I think the permission thing and pleasure,
Mhm.
I'm a words mean things kind of bitch. And
Yes.
pleasure means experiencing great joy and excitement.
Mhm.
Sexual pleasure, life pleasure. Like, so this brings me joy. It brings me pleasure, right? And so to that end, connecting to pleasure with confidence looks like your
Mhm.
sexual pleasure, looks like the visual, like you said, all your senses. It's the
Yes.
sensual connection to non-sexual pleasure
Exactly.
adds so many layers to your sexual pleasures
Mhm.
that it's a whole nother ball game. If you're connected to the non-sexual pleasure in life that's readily accessible,
Right.
that sexual pleasure is going to be a whole nother ball game, because you're going to be experiencing that through all 6 of the senses too.
Exactly. And I think that that's kind of one of the reasons why dating is an experience. And because we are into apps and all the other all the things where it's like you're just clicking on somebody, does it fit my height requirement, or what does this thing look like? And the reason why I say height requirement is because I want somebody that's over 6'2". I realized that when I tried Facebook dating, and there were so many people that I was like, nope, too far, nope, not tall enough, whatever. And I was like, did I possibly just get rid of, like, did I swipe left on my potential soulmate just
Yes.
because, yeah,
Yes,
just
you did.
because he was short. And I
Uh-huh.
think about it, I've dated short people, but they were people that I got to know and then I warmed up to them. And
Mm-hmm.
the idea of like, I used to rent this out by the hour. So I don't mind meeting people and seeing something in them, but there's
Mm-hmm.
something about being on an app where people
Mm-hmm.
want to automatically go to
Yeah.
the good stuff.
The criteria must be if I'm online and I
Yeah.
can order my food from my couch, I should be able to order my dick from my couch.
And when people are like, hello, dick pic, no, I don't
No,
care because I don't
no.
know if I like you enough to be curious about that.
See, and I'm retired, but back when
Hmm.
I was pimping, I don't have to like you to fuck you. I gotta like you to go somewhere with you in public in the daytime.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
especially if the sex is good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't start talking, you ruin it. You know what I'm saying? No talkie.
Oh, and you know
You know.
what? And there are those that are just a dick appointment that try to make themselves something else, and it's like,
Oh my
mm-mm,
God. Because they
stay in
know
your
they're not.
lane. Stay in your lane.
And the reason, like a lot of people, like, the hobosexuals, right? They're
Yeah,
great at sex because that's all they got.
I know. Yeah,
You got one
for
job.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Do it
You
and
better
do it well.
do that.
Yeah.
Very much that. Right. So, I mean, I think that, I'd love to see. I think you're definitely missing out on your person with this 6'2" requirement. And I only say that to say my husband and I are the same height,
Yeah.
but height was never a thing for me. My husband is
Mhm.
this color. He's light skinned.
Yeah.
And I didn't like light skinned men.
Oh, but he's a cutie patootie.
This motherfucking Howard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't nobody tell me nothing about that man. Okay. But he's light skinned.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I typically am not attracted to light skinned men. Not in a sense that I would actually like be with them. Because I've always been raised that, light skinned men were less masculine. And I need a
Mm.
man that's more man than I am.
Really?
Okay.
Hmm.
So he passed the vibe check. I didn't even know. I thought he was a girl. We met on Twitter. And so we was like cracking jokes and stuff like that. And then I was like, who's going to Profit Bar? And he was like, I am. I was like, cool. So he DM'd me. He was like, hey, here's my number. Call me when you get there and I'll come get you.
Hmm.
Cool. That's what girls do for each other. So I called. He's like, hello. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Also,
And
who
so it
this
just,
man?
and then we have so many of the same friends and everything else. Like
Yeah.
we really are a good fit, but he's light skinned. I didn't have no
Hmm.
requirements other than you got to be black and something.
Okay.
You have to have facial hair.
Okay.
And that's it. Them was the requirements.
See,
Physical requirements, black and facial hair. That was it.
I thought that I was looking for a tall redhead, but then when I looked at what I find actually attractive,
Mm.
that's not it.
Mm.
And what I end up dating, that's not it. But in my mind, and again, because now redheads are considered black,
Apparently,
I was like,
gingers are
okay,
ninjas.
so so I was definitely into black men back in the day. I just didn't know
Mm.
it.
See, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't
Mhm.
know what you want till you get it. Like when you get hungry, you don't know what you want, but you know what you don't want. Sometimes it's a crapshoot. I think that's it too, honey.
Mhm.
That might be
So
a,
the thing
a bit of
is,
an impediment.
I want someone that is obviously the man and we
Mm-hmm.
go walking out. I want them
Mm-hmm.
to be bigger than me. And I also want someone that is a good kisser. And for me, a good kisser is one that takes me off of my heels. So that height requirement. Is it a deal breaker? No. But if I'm looking at a catalog, the first thing I'm looking at is the height.
You're gonna go to the height section. I mean, and that's
Exactly.
the thing. Like with Tazamison, there's no guessing who's the man in our relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he's not bigger than me. We're
Hmm.
the same size. I wear his clothes. You know what I'm saying? And he been going to the gym, so I really wear his clothes now. But yeah, you can get some great kisses from not leaning down
I
too.
know.
And I know you know that. That's why I don't want you to. I don't want you to cut yourself off at the knees.
I'm
You
not
can
doing
still
that.
wear your heels too.
Exactly.
They can be
Oh,
shorter than you when you wear your heels, baby. I will be in my heels and have my arm on his shoulder when we take pictures.
I need someone that is also very comfortable in themselves. That's the thing. And that's something that you have modeled to be comfortable in yourself. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to be from day to day. She's like, you have to pick one. Just
Just for that,
for that.
I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Because don't nobody embarrass me more than a Facebook memory posts of shit I done said before. And I'm like, who is this girl?
Right.
Who, what? My pronouns are she, they.
Yeah.
She, they, and boss.
HBIC.
Basically. You know what, bitch? I'm going to say bitch one of my pronouns too.
Yeah.
That's one of them. I'm cool with it. The permission to connect to pleasure with confidence. That's my whole life's goal, is to help people connect to pleasure with confidence. And y'all were started out talking about how your pleasure journey, and Laz said without shame, connecting to pleasure without shame, connecting to pleasure with confidence. Even if you're exploring a kind of pleasure that may not be for you, you confidently go into it with a mind of exploration.
Yes.
To figure out if this is for you or not. Even with the book you read and you tried to prove the book wrong, even with that, self-pleasure is so much bigger and just stroking it out. We got all kind of accessories and toys and sleeves. You can play with temperature, you can play with texture, you can play with pressure. There's so many things. And if you have a vulva, then there's still lots of different ways you can play with things, and a temperature and texture and all that. And self-pleasure doesn't necessarily equal insertion either.
It doesn't.
Figure out what that looks like for you. So it's just like there's so much to explore. And sexuality and just the act of sexual pleasure is so expansive. Like I have a workshop called The Big O, where I talk about 18 different kinds of orgasms and how to access them with and without a partner.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I remember you having blowjob classes.
I still do. I teach dick riding classes. Are you still in the DFW area? I'm doing one at the end of the month, and so I'll make sure that you're there as my guest, because it's a riders only workshop. It's not just for women. I'm not that girl. It's a riders only. It's a fully clothed riders only workshop. You can't bring your partner. We pair up because we talk about how the bodies fit together, and I want you to see how it feels different in your body. And then when you're with your partner, you switch. So you're going to be top and the bottom to see what it feels like. Because when you riding, you're thinking, are they okay? But when you get to be on the bottom, you realize they're fine. But then they're fine, and you can put that energy back into your pleasure. Right. Even with the blowjob class or lip service pussy eating class. And I also teach mouth stuff where I go over both, because you never know. And people are like, oh, is there a queer version of this class? Pumpkin. First of all, there's no such thing as queer sex. Queer sex is the people having the sex. Exactly. So the same.
Exactly. Yes.
The acts are the same. So if you're second dick, then lick is the class you need to be in. It's based on what you're trying to do. The rider or the horse, right? If you're the rider, rideology is for you. If you're the horse, then you need to go to strokeology, because that's for people with penises and people that wear strap-ons.
Yes.
To help with confidence, control, and stamina. I have workshops around lots of different sexual acts, because people assume that just because they're doing it well. Like, you may be enjoying the sex that you're having, but you may be leaving a whole bunch of shit on the table. Amen. And it's eating. It's natural. We biologically have to do it. Sex is natural. We biologically have to do it. But you learn how to eat with a knife and fork. You learn how to cook your food. You learn a microwave versus an oven versus a stovetop. Like, you learn things that support and improve your culinary experiences. So why not learn things about the tools?
Because I used to be, or I still am, a connoisseur of lube. And it's like knowing the different types of lube and what they can do for you. And also because I am, I enjoy a good kisser. And so when I ask somebody, are you a good kisser? And the answer is, well, I haven't had any complaints. I was like, that's not answering my question. Because people have not, maybe they don't feel comfortable telling you, oh, that's just wrong. And some people have learned how to kiss from watching their dog. It's like, there's tongue all over the place, and it's like, well, hey, let's start with the lips first.
Listen, or they don't drink enough water to be a good kisser.
I'm like, that's crazy she said that as I'm lifting my water up.
But people don't know. And I love that you said lube, because I have a lube class called Lube 101. But I have a lubricant coming out.
Oh, do you?
Yes, it's with the FDA right now, because I'm trying to be like official. I want it to live longer than me. It's called Gloss. It was
Ooh,
created by
love it.
myself and a Black female cosmetic chemist. It's a water-based product.
Hmm.
And I love it so much. It doesn't get sticky or tacky. It's paraben free. There's no taste. There's no smell. It's like long. It just eventually just absorbs into the skin. Like it
Okay.
is
What?
flawless. And we're gonna do a CBD infused version after this one gets done.
Ooh,
And that's a game changer because
it
most
is.
CBD lubes are oil based. This will be a water based CBD lube,
Okay.
and we'll do a silicone version as well.
It's interesting. The reason why I got into learning about lubes was because propylene glycol breaks me
Mm-hmm.
out. And almost all water-based lubes have it in them. And so I had to figure out what lube was going to work for me. And especially back in the day when I was hoeing and pimping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Pimping,
like
pimping.
pimping, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was, I was like, okay, so I need to know what's going to work and what's going to be accessible and what I
Mm-hmm.
can rely on. And you bring your own tools to the dance. And
You
so
do.
that was a thing that was really important to me. And I started looking for other things and I was like, so noticing that different lubes are going to be good for different acts. And
Yeah.
there are times like, yes, I would love, but like people will say, well, you want to go natural, so you want the coconut oil. I don't want to have to mess up my sheets.
And coconut oil is not condom compatible. It's not
See?
sex toy safe. It's gonna fuck
Exactly.
your sheets up.
Exactly.
And the people that use oil-based lubricants have a higher instance of bacterial vaginosis.
Mm.
Not saying that oil-based lube will give you bacterial vaginosis, but the population of people
Right.
that use oil-based lube have a higher incidence of BV. And people don't
Hmm.
understand that all genitals have a pH balance. B is when your pH balance is fucked up. You can have BV anally, and it can be irritating as fuck. The girls with the vulvas be like, "Wait a minute, bitch! I can get it in the front and the back."
Yeah,
Yes,
it's an
and the
equal
opposite.
opportunity hole.
And penises have a pH balance. So if you're
Yes.
intact, right? If you have
Hmm.
foreskin, you better be mindful about using oil-based lube because you can get BV and the pH inside the foreskin can get fucked up.
Somebody just asked why there aren't uncircumcised dildos, and I was like,
There are. I have two.
you have
And
two, really?
I have two. And I have a 3-foot crocheted penis and he has a
Hmm.
foreskin too.
Yeah,
Intact.
intact. Yes.
Because uncircumcised implies that circumcised is the way it's supposed to be.
Okay. Yes.
And the
Yes.
natural state of the penis has a foreskin.
So it's interesting in gay society right now. It's if you are circumcised, it's like you're chopped, or
Mm-hmm.
if you are intact, then you're uncut, and
Mm-hmm.
all the things because we make cute nicknames for
Yeah,
everything.
I love that. Chopped
It's
and unk. That's cute.
I'm freaking
Yeah,
about
no,
well,
that's
see,
different.
then
I'm like,
there's
girl, what
unk
do you?
for uncle. There's
Yeah.
unk for uncle, but if somebody's talking about your penis,
It'll be like,
yeah.
what have you. It'll be like, oh, we
Hmm.
Got it.
need, chopped unks, blah, blah, blah. But
Exactly.
I think, and so what's funny to me is like when people start talking shit about intact penis,
I
I'll be
love
like,
them. I love them
listen,
all.
if dick is dick, honey. It's penis. Okay. That's what I'm,
As
what I'm
long
saying?
as you're
Because
taught to care for it.
right, if you know how to clean it. And that's why I got the three
Yeah.
foot crochet dick because I want to do a video series about how to clean foreskin and things. And I
Yes.
know that I will
Yes.
get flagged. But if
Motherfuckers
it's a
have
Yes.
big 3-foot stuffed dick, what really are we doing? But when people talk shit about intact penises, I'm like, oh, if you haven't fucked international dick, just say that.
Exactly. I
people don't
went
know how to
I
clean
went
their
on a
shit.
crusade. Go ahead, Laz.
No, hold on.
What?
We can't just scoot past that like that wasn't said. I need to clarify something. So you were talking about people not being able to clean it. Do you have men come to you who don't know how to clean their fucking foreskin?
There's of men that come to
Mhm.
me
Because the men aren't cleaning it.
because they're not taught to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're either
What?
not taught to or they're
Are you not?
lazy.
Yes.
There are different ways that you can clean it. And so some people, if the foreskin is there, they just kind of go in and clean it, but you're supposed to pull
Mm-hmm.
it back and clean it.
Yeah.
I had a guy that had never pulled his foreskin back. He'd never pulled it back. So because he would just take a Q-tip and go in there and clean it. So he'd never pulled it back. And so
Mhm.
it wouldn't go back. He had to go to the doctor and like
Bruh,
get it because he was cleaning it. I will say this. He was cleaning it because he was
with
taking
a
a Q-tip and he was
Q-tip.
going in and he was cleaning it.
Yeah.
But it's a different level of clean, correct?
And
Especially if there's already something going on in there.
I mean, already
exactly.
one is already dirty. Two, you're leaving little cotton strands behind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I know people who have had to have it
Yeah.
done
You have
because
to,
it was
because
so
they didn't clean it.
tight. Because
Oh
it
yeah.
wasn't clean, because it was tight to begin with. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was painful to pull it back. So you
Mm-hmm.
just get lazy and stop trying to pull it back. And that
Mm-hmm.
means that you aren't cleaning it
Was it
because
tight
you aren't
because
Yeah.
it
pulling it
wasn't
back.
clean?
No,
It was tight because it wasn't being used.
Because it
sometimes it
wasn't.
is tight to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use it. You have
You don't
to
gonna,
get used to it. And
I'm
so,
especially
feeling
the
mind blown
opening of
right
the
now.
foreskin, like the
yeah.
elasticity of the foreskin changes and shifts, especially depending on the erection of the penis, right? Sometimes it's a pickle, sometimes it's a pipe, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
your erection quality changes.
Mhm.
If the penis is fully erect, the foreskin may not be able to stretch around the girth of the penis, and because
Mhm.
it hasn't been used.
I was taught, me and my brother, my dad taught us how to wash our shit when we were little
Mm-hmm.
kids. It's just like wash your shit. Every
Wait,
time I
you're
go
But they
pee,
don't
unpacked?
know. Some people
every
don't
time I
know
go
if they don't have
pee,
a.
like when you go pee, you pull it back.
But there are
Like
men that are
take it
circumcised
back
that have
off.
sons that are not, and so they
Yeah.
don't know how to.
And there are a lot of single mothers that had the conversation once and then never
Mhm.
talked about it. And this is something that you have to ingrain in a male
Listen, all
child.
my kids, when they start showering by themselves, you have the outside shower curtain and the clear one on the inside. Pull
Exactly.
that outside shower curtain up. You gonna get in the
Mhm.
shower. I'm gonna sit on the toilet and supervise.
Make sure you clean for real.
And I have sons and daughters. The 9-year-old, I have a daughter. Hendrix is 9. She'll be 10
I
soon.
can't believe she's 9 already.
She's
Yeah.
going to the 4th
Oh,
grade on Monday.
oh, wow.
So she's taking showers in the clear shower curtain right now. We got to wash the armpits 20 times each, kind of conversation and all of that. The
Yes,
vulva, the wiping
yes.
of the vulva, all of that. Because even with
Mhm.
the vulva, you got to wipe a certain direction.
Oh, yeah.
You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't be, you know, so it's like teaching her the things that she needs to know so she
Mhm.
can keep her little self together.
Mhm.
But even with the clients that I've had that have gotten circumcised as adults was because of the feedback they got from their partners.
Yes.
It was because they don't like that. So they get circumcised as grown-ups. And when you're a grown man and get circumcised, you have to do a psych eval. You have to go on the Depo-Provera for 90 days so that you don't get an erection and break your stitches.
Mhm.
It's a big undertaking. I had a
Mhm.
client and he got it. He was like, I didn't realize I had to start buying nicer underwear because my, you know,
Yeah.
the penis head is now exposed and bumping all around. My foreskin was protecting the head of my dick. So I didn't know that I
Right.
needed like 500 count thread underwear. You know, if you don't have partners that know what they're doing with the foreskin, if you have people that have the foreskin and don't know what they're doing, there's so much that comes with, you know, having, again, the safest, most pleasurable, healthy sex that you can. My lesbian homegirls, they have long fingernails and they try
Oh,
to finger
yeah.
people. And I'm like, listen, hold
One
on, but
shorthand.
put
Mhm.
cotton balls in the fingertips of a glove
Yeah.
and then put the glove on. So you have like a buffer. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? I'm not going to
Right.
worry about inside. But I
It'll be
mean,
all up in it.
you know what I'm saying? But just, you know, having conversations with people about ways, like people have, you know, aversions to lubricant. Oh,
Exactly.
most of you are not drinking enough water for that to even be a thing.
Mhm.
And so
Stay
we have
hydrated,
conversations
my
about that.
friends.
Listen, people be drinking this shit and it don't be
So
water
many
in here.
reasons.
Yeah.
It don't be water. It be something else. Like you drinking sweet tea out of that shit? Like that's
Right.
crazy. No one needs this much sweet tea.
No.
No one. Why is it a color? Why is it not water? What is wrong? I did not know people were not, I didn't know people had these big ass cups and
Don't
they
have
were not
HTO
drinking
coming after us.
And then
like apple juice and you wondering why.
Right. Straight
And
up
so,
apple juice.
but I tell people to get like an automatic soap dispenser
Mhm. Mhm.
and fill it with lube and put it by your bed.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
you know what I'm saying? It's the perfect amount.
Yep.
And you don't have to stop and unscrew anything or, you know, and you get the party going. Well, I have one, it looks like art. It looks like a
Yeah.
little,
yeah.
it's cool. And so then you don't have to
Mhm.
worry about that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But people don't,
Right.
and it's just like little things like that
Mhm.
that people don't necessarily, you don't even know until somebody say it and then it makes sense to you.
Exactly.
Or they're having a challenge and they don't even know that the easy fix is drink more water.
So, Goody, were you raised in a sex positive household?
I was, but it was a body negative household.
Really? How
Yeah,
so?
like my mom's a nurse. She's a nurse. She taught us about sex, you know, medically. She taught us about menstruation. This is what's happening in your body. This is how you handle it on the outside of your body. These are the things. She would buy me pad. And so
Mhm.
when my period started, she told me what to do. So I was just doing it.
Okay.
So it was 2 years later. And I was like, hey, when you'll get some pads, can you get me some too? And she was like, you don't need pads, you ain't started your period yet. And I was like, man, I've been bleeding for 2 years. Sis. She made me take her in the bathroom and show her my pad because she didn't
Really?
bleed. She was like, "Why you didn't tell me?" I was like, "Well, you told me what was going to happen and you told me what to do, so I did it. I didn't know I was supposed to tell you. That wasn't part of what you said. You said, this is what's going to happen. This is what you do. Here are the things you do it with." And I did that. So my friends thought they were dying on the playground, when that period starts. So I'm in the bathroom, sliding pad on the, this is what's happening. This is what you do. So I've been a sex educator since 9 because I was prepared for success in that way. But it was a body negative household. So we were always on a diet. We always, we were doing mouse exercise. Very much, always got something to say. And, it was a very body negative household. I would say sex neutral. My parents walked around naked all the time. And I'd be like, why are you in the kitchen with your foreskin in the refrigerator? Can you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my challenge. It'd be like at night, it wouldn't be like we're watching TV and my dad come through the house naked or something. It would be like you go to the kitchen to get some water or something. They wasn't putting on robes. Yeah, no, it wasn't a thing. And my dad taught me how to take a shower. He wore swim trunks, but he taught me how to shower. I got goggles because I didn't want the water in my face. And he put his swim trunks on and showed me how to shower. So like,
I thought it was okay to like free range kids for a while, let them get used to their own bodies until they start to think, okay, well, maybe I don't want to be naked around everybody, even, potty training. It's like, let them be naked so that they realize when it's time,
I think it depends on who got to clean that up. Because ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. But it depends. I mean, if that's how they are associated with, then that's cool. Yeah. And I think that's why sex ed should begin at potty training.
Exactly.
Because that's when they start to recognize that their genitals have a purpose.
Exactly.
And they need to know the proper names of what they have and the proper names that they don't have. Because then you can, hey, somebody trying to put their penis in my face. Or somebody trying to put their vulva in my face. She has hair now. And, kids don't give you privacy. Right. And so she came in, she's like, "Mommy, you don't have hair on your vulva. Why are you in here?" She was like, I want to cut my hair off too. And so now I'm like, no. It's like, because you can't get a wax, sis. She's been with me to get waxes to get mine, but she can't get a wax. She's 9. So it's like, okay, well, what does that conversation look like? So it's like, okay, well, if you want to trim it, you can trim it if you want to, but then I got to teach you how to trim it. Right. Because nobody taught me how to do nothing. I was in there with a comb and some scissors because I saw a barber do the comb and then cut on that side of the comb. Yeah. Because I was using the scissors and I cut myself. Then I was like, "Ooh, the comb could be the guard and I could cut." But I was a teenager.
So my father had a straight razor that he did not use. Yeah, I tore up my legs.
Yeah, you did.
Trying to shave with a straight razor.
And see, I was a cheerleader when my leg hair came in. And so my titi, my aunt that I was living with, she got us Nair.
Oh, and see, so I tried that too.
She would make us go outside in the driveway in our swim bottoms and put the Nair on and just, sit out there and then hose it off. We couldn't
okay. When I first started shaving, like facially, my mother didn't want me to have ingrown hairs. And so she got me Magic Shave.
My dad used that shit.
Then I got creative because, my brain works differently. And I was like, if it works for here,
it's going to work for here.
Oh, that was the worst burn. And I have had many things that my poor sack has been through. And it's just like, well, okay, you learn from it,
Yeah, a lesson is a taught lesson. Shit you're not going to do twice.
Right. And so now it's like, there are a list of things of what we not going to do.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. We're not going to repeat it. And having intergenerational conversations with these kids, elders, we're talking about, like the earwax test. Have y'all ever heard of the earwax test? Oh, thank God. So the earwax test, the uncles, young boys, if you're making out with a girl and you put your earwax in her vulva and she acts like it burns or something like that, then she has an STI. And I'm like,
why would you have earwax to begin with? Like, how are you accessing earwax?
Are we kissing and you doing like this? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then, if you know what earwax is, if you put that in her vulva, she has an STI now.
Yeah.
So like, but that's a piece of information that has been passed down. When
See,
because I work from the cradle to the grave. So I do the kids, the young
mhm,
kids, and sex ed at pre-K, kindergarten, first through it looks like families look different. We're not talking about their orientations and their gender identities, but maybe Jackson
mhm.
has two moms,
Yeah,
maybe Philip has two dads, maybe Amber lives with her mom and her grandma. Like families look
exactly.
different and they all deserve respect. And that's what sex ed looks like at that
Mhm,
age, right? But then we get to the high schoolers and things like that. I can't get on campus with a condom. So then I do offsite team building where I talk to the coaches of the basketball, football, drill teams, student government, all that. And we do offsite team building. I still send home a permission slip, but we'll do
mhm,
offsite team building and I do like sex trivia or something, make it fun. And then now,
mhm.
because they remember better where they gamify, and then they're going to go have these conversations on campus that are accurate.
That's
Then I
the thing.
do
We need
That's
to have
insane.
these conversations.
like Texas is fourth in the nation for teen pregnancy, but we're
Exactly.
first in the
Well,
nation for
because you
repeat.
can't get on campus with a condom,
My
it says it
master's
makes kids
degree,
more curious and more want to go do it.
my social work master's, my internship
Mhm.
was teaching abstinence only until marriage education.
What?
It's called Heritage Keepers, founded by the
Okay.
Heritage Foundation. And it is some of it is good. The platonic relationship building part, excellent.
Yes.
Everything
Wonderful.
else, not so much. But it was abstinence only till marriage education. And it's like the adults that wrote this shit didn't wait.
Right. You didn't wait.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna wait,
Wow.
and then something happened, and I was like, you know what? This is good.
You know what? I've been fucking since I was 12. And I was not taught that it was wait until marriage. It was wait until you
Yeah.
feel like you
Wait until
love
you fall in
somebody.
love.
And it wasn't even that for me. It was just some shit I was, he was in my face and I liked what he was saying. So that's what we did, you know what I'm saying? But it was understanding that I was already participating in this. I'm already doing this. So my mother, I didn't get pregnant until I was 22.
Okay.
So, and I had been with the guy for 10 years. And I told my mom I was pregnant. She was like, about time.
About time. So she was hoping you would get pregnant so she could have a baby?
No, you know how sometimes Black mothers are jealous of their daughters,
Yeah.
and she's very much one of those.
Okay.
So yeah,
But
but I
and
mean,
that does bring up something that societally, there
mhm,
was a time where the young people got pregnant, had the kids, and you had extended family or you had the
mhm,
neighborhood that helped
mhm,
raise the kid. So
mhm.
it wasn't the worst thing in the world to
Yeah,
get
because
pregnant.
it was so much underage sex happening, be grown men that were the fathers, so you had to kind of figure that out. But like, and even now, like 45% of teen pregnancies are with grown men.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
It's like, oh well, she's too young, she can't get pregnant. And lo and behold,
She can't.
yeah,
or
it
whether or not it was
happens.
Who ever
consensual,
thought that shit?
or
People
coercive
think
or
that
any of
all the
that.
time.
They think they can't get pregnant. They don't have a period yet. I tell them, listen,
Hmm.
you can,
Yeah.
because you don't know how close your period is. Your period might be
But
next
wait a
week.
minute.
Here come your period, and you get pregnant.
We talking about teen pregnancies as in 13,
Teen,
No,
anything,
no,
yes,
even younger now.
yeah, like
12,
No,
12.
even younger.
11
They're thinking like 8.
They're 8 and 9 year olds. Yeah.
pregnant?
Yeah,
Yeah. Having kids.
I remember there was a fifth grader at my son's school, and she was pregnant, so they sent her to the alternative campus. My number one rule was don't
Mhm.
pull your dick out at school.
Right.
Don't pull your dick out at school.
Don't pull it
Do not
out.
pull your dick out at school, because they knew
Hmm.
where the cameras were in the rooms and all that kind of stuff. Listen,
Hmm.
don't pull your dick out at school.
Yep.
And because if you get caught at school, you're on the registry and you can't go
Exactly.
to that school no more. If you have
Hmm.
siblings in your house, you got to move because you can't be around kids.
So kids who get caught, they get on the sex offender thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're having sex
Hmm.
around kids. Even if you're a kid, sending nudes is a felony. If we're all teenagers and I send y'all a picture of a nude, that's child porn, even though I'm the child.
But
Oh,
then if your family has a shared cloud and it
Mm,
shows up on your father's or your mother's cloud,
now you're
So
yeah, you have
it's
to
like
be really
it's a
careful
whole
about and
technology lends to a whole new bag of worms.
and people don't realize that. Like even in texting or whatever,
Mhm.
they like, as a massage therapist, I've had people text me, will you do blah blah blah? And it's like, no, I'm not even gonna have this conversation. First off, it's in text, which is
Mhm.
admissible evidence in court. And second off, that's not what I'm selling. So I wouldn't be selling that for so cheap. It's interesting because having been someone who has been in sex work and then gotten out of it and then gone into massage work and whatever. And it's like, now you're asking me to do two jobs at a discount?
You're
No,
insulting me.
ma'am.
You're insulting me on top of that.
In my world, it's been an insult ever since I can remember. I say that shit to somebody else, or they say it to me. Well, it depends on who I'm saying it to.
But okay,
My
so
husband over here in the refrigerator talking about.
my logical mind is like, why would you invite someone that you're not on good terms with to put your most precious thing into a
Yeah,
place where they have
logically,
teeth?
that don't make no fucking sense,
It
right?
doesn't make any sense at all.
But from my lens, the way it was used as an insult is like, hell no, I ain't doing that. And if you're inviting me to do that, you don't respect me at all.
Is this a
At
disrespectful
all.
thing?
Hell no, this is a disrespectful thing.
Now,
And it's
You to say
what's
that to
really it's
another
rooted
person
in
is very disrespectful.
it's rooted
that
in
way.
feminizing
Mhm.
man because
Feminizing
even
the
the
other
worst than
dude
being
who's like, I'm
feminine.
not.
So now,
right.
And so
But now-
that's also speaks to so many masculine men's insecurity around just
Mhm.
saying, I'm straight, I like girls. And
And do
somebody
gay
says
things.
that and they take it as an insult and get defensive. Now they're defending their sexuality when really you really need to do that.
Right. Well, you know, anytime somebody feels the need to say something, if it's I'm trustworthy, I'm honest, I'm straight, anytime you're telling me that, who are you trying to convince, me or you?
Exactly.
if I got to tell you I'm a lady,
If you got to, yeah. So that's the thing.
my husband just says he thinks it's being universally attractive.
Yes.
That's what he
Well-
says because he was like, "Oh, that just means they think I'm fly."
And another
Yeah.
thing is because I studied the history of the phallus, which takes us back in history to the times when sexuality was just sexuality. You had to get married and have kids so that, you know, for property or whatever. But the marriage was open. You could have multiple wives. You also had concubines. Concubines were male and female.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the oldest profession, whenever you went off on a war campaign, they went with you. Your wife stayed at home to take care of the kids.
Yep.
Your concubines went with you.
And they had people whose position in the military was their job to get fucked on so that the soldiers could be focused. You know what I'm saying? It was men that held that position because then they couldn't get pregnant because a pregnant person is a liability in a war space. So it was men that held that position that got fucked on. Their only job was the sexual pleasure of the soldiers so the soldiers could focus and they were men so that they couldn't get pregnant.
Right.
And you'll never see this in any war movie ever.
Well, you see it
in the Greek and Romans, it's touched on a little bit, but it's kind of glossed over.
I mean, I can probably think of maybe in 300, but it's not Gladiator.
And it even happened in the church because the high priest, and this is even before Christianity, but early popes did the same thing. They were closer to God in general, and the way that you would get their essence would be to suck it out of them. Now you know what that was. And the same thing
blowing
happened,
Gabriel's trumpet.
And the same thing would happen with a great warrior. You wanted to be like him, you would suck his essence out. And it didn't matter, you know, you could be the most masculine or the second most, because obviously he was the most. So all of that stuff is there. It's in the history books, and we've glossed over it.
Yep. That's wild.
And this is kind of where the idea of the permission portal really came from. Permission to have these conversations, permission to go a little bit deeper and get the rest of the story. I remember I had a biology teacher who was always talking about, and that's the rest of the story. I think there was an old TV show that had that as a tagline. She had some place that she got it from. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention. I was always talking in class. I remember her, after explaining something, saying, and that's the rest of the story, or why something
I had to Google
worked.
it because the phrase, and that's the rest of the story, is a signature closing line used by Paul Harvey on his radio show.
See?
Because I had to know.
So she used to say that, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But it kind of stuck with me because
Mhm.
I, for me, it's not "W- just do this." I'm like, well, why? It's my ADHD brain. It's like, if you can, and I don't have to agree with how you got there, I just
Mhm.
need to know the logic that you
Right.
used.
Yes.
Because I don't really
Yes.
care, and you don't
You got to
care if
have
I
one though.
agree or not.
You got to have a reason though.
Yeah, give me
Because
a
I
reason.
said so ain't enough.
And if it's something I haven't thought of, maybe if you have a good logic, you can sell me on your logic.
I'm receptive.
Give me the
You know what I'm saying?
information.
Give it to me and see what happens. But that's the thing too. Like even with science and whole shit, that's the name of the book series I'm working on. Science has not caught up with whole shit.
No,
So there are
not
only
at all.
like three medical books that include the clitoris, right? You hear sex educators say there are 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris. That
Yeah.
was a cow's clitoris. That was not a human clitoris. There
Oh.
are 10,240 nerve endings in the human clitoris. We know that now, and we found out in
Hmm.
like 2023. I learned that y'all have testicles, so y'all, the
Do I?
testicles kind of go
Oh,
up.
yeah.
They go up into the body and they
Yes.
come down, and that's the temperature. Keeping the temperature right for
Hmm.
sperm production. But also those tunnels that the testicles go into. And then here's the thing, because I was at Sex Down South, and you see some of everything down there. And so I went to this workshop called Muffing 101 because I had to know. It was about they was teaching muffing around having sex with trans women. But I was like, listen, dick is dick is dick. And so whether it's attached to a woman or a man,
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. I got questions.
But they are
So I
not all
know,
created equally
no, they're not.
because there's
But
different size, shapes,
I,
colors,
the
sensitivities.
description
Yes.
was, and so I was like, okay, but
Mhm.
it was basically a trans girl spread eagle on the table, and the person was demonstrating the method. But the the
You're in the splash zone. But yeah.
yeah, listen, I was like, hey, what about this front row? Because I want to see, because these glasses are
Right.
not for decoration. So
Yeah.
the educator in me is thinking
Hmm.
that you should record this and put it
Yes.
on a screen so everyone can see. And you can stop and say, okay, this is what's
Hmm.
going on here. Because if you're actually in real time doing it, when that person comes, this class is over.
Exactly.
If I have a question, can't stop and answer my question. It was a demonstration. And I was just like, I did not know that. Like I knew about the tunnels. I didn't know that could be manipulated to the point of orgasm. So like finding out all the new things that the body can do because science
Hmm.
has not yet caught up with whole shit. I found out that penises can squirt. Penises can squirt. It's a fluid that's not urine and it's not
Yes.
ejaculate.
Oh, squirt.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, really? Penises can squirt.
Well,
But
anuses
it's
can
not.
too.
You said it's
It's not
technical word.
semen and it's not urine.
Yeah.
It's a clear ejaculate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pre-cum
Which
type
is
shit.
so cool.
Like anuses can also ejaculate as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah. There is.
I mean, I knew there was orgasm. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
there was a possibility for a productive orgasm.
There is a creamy white substance that can happen. Yes.
Hmm.
And I will tell you the reason why I know about those tunnels being fingerable, it's
Mm-hmm.
because me being two spirit. So, but I have a masculine orgasm and I have the feminine orgasm because
Mm-hmm.
each one acts differently. And when I found the feminine orgasm, it was in fingering those tunnels. And I
Hmm.
was like, and it reminded me of a time when I actually did have a vagina, when I actually did have all the stuff, when I get into that space. But again, I'm in my feminine space. And for the longest time, I thought I was the only one. I thought that was just me. When I found out that other people do it. Now, a lot of people aren't curious and aren't exploring.
The internet has made the world a smaller place so people can find
Hmm.
community
Hmm.
easier. You
Yeah.
can find community and you don't feel so siloed and you'll learn more
Hmm.
things. Like you said, you thought it was just you.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing the internet has going for it. If you're satisfied with the sex you're having and you don't have an
Hmm.
inquisitive mind, you don't think about ways to improve. When I meet people that go, oh, well, I don't need no help with that. Listen, I assume you know your way around your pleasure before you got to me. I am adding to existing talent.
And some people don't even masturbate, basically being, I call them sexual dumpers, where
Mm,
you meet a person and, we have the emotional dumper that is just like, I like you, you're pretty, here's all my emotions, deal with them. And people do that with their sexuality as well. I like you. You're pretty. I trust you. Here. And now you're letting them do everything. It's like, no, no, you need to know how everything works for you. And
Yeah.
people will come to me, men, and asking, saying, well, I feel like I'm a premature ejaculator. When I'm like, well, ejaculation happens when ejaculation is supposed to happen. This idea of premature, it just, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm asking about, so what's your refractory period? Are you multi-orgasmic? And they're like, well, I don't know. It's like, so what happens when you masturbate? Oh, I don't have to masturbate. I didn't say you had to do it. But if you
That's the
do know
thing. They're
that,
like, I don't need to. I got somebody.
I can have sex and then go and masturbate and think about it because I've done it multiple times.
We have a rose collection because different roses do different
Yes.
things.
Do you
I
know
mean,
what the rose is?
Well, there's one. The newest one is like a
only one now.
throbber, and so it
Like,
doesn't
Okay.
have a hole. It has like a membrane over it, and inside the hole is like a little thumper in there. So it's like a
Ooh.
throbber. And so,
Mm.
it's my new favorite thing. And so
oh,
I like
it's
the
gonna
one
be
with the
it's gonna be Sex Toy Saturday this Saturday. Yeah, the one with the tongue, the one with the stem, all the things. And so I feel like you should be using accessories with your partner too to kind of figure out what their pleasure looks like. You can use the rose on the penis. Yes, you can use the rose on the penis.
Yes.
You put that on that frenulum.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
put that rose on that
what do you
frenulum.
call it?
It's a wrap. If you look at the head of your dick, that little V shape coming from the head of your penis,
Yeah.
that's basically the clitoris of the penis.
If the head is here, the head is right here, this little part right here
is the frenulum.
Yes.
That's the clitoris of the penis.
Most orgasms in the penis
the whole
start at
penis.
the frenulum.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. This little V shape right in here.
All right.
It's super sensitive.
Yeah.
But if you put a rose on that
under the
thing,
glands, all of that, extra
Interesting.
sensitive.
Then I talk about how to use it on a vulva, on a penis, on a nipple, on whatever. And then I'm going to talk about how to clean it as well now, because apparently people don't know how to do that.
But
so
you know what? I told somebody about putting a toy in a dishwasher to like sterilize it, and they're like, that's where my dishes go. So you never
put your mouth on genitals too.
Yeah.
And if you feel that way about it, run a sex toy cycle, run a cleaning cycle, and then run the dishes. Have people that they don't want to boil, their sex toys. Go, first of all, you're not supposed to put it in a pot and boil it. You're supposed to boil the water.
Boil the water and then dump.
And have like a bowl or something, and you put and you pour it over. So you can have like a sex toy bowl, like just a really big sex toy bowl. I was like, but y'all acting like I'm asking you to use your spaghetti pot
with the spaghetti in it.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if it is a spaghetti pot,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Now, what I don't like, my stepdaughter used to dye her hair, but like her wigs, and she would boil the water and put the dye in the pot, and then put the wig in the pot. Okay. Bitch, that's my good pot. She's in my gumbo pot, boiling hair, ma'am.
But see, that is potentially dangerous. Like,
that's different.
Like, if you're dyeing clothes, Rit dye, I'm not putting that in my good stock pot. Just not.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be consuming that. So I was like, girl. So I was like, she owe me a pot. Now this is your hair pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, ma'am, you know what I'm saying? Like, even back when we used to wear microwave ponytails.
Yeah.
My titi went to the pawn shop and got me a microwave and put it in the garage because she's like, you're not putting hair in my microwave.
See?
Because I did it once, and she was like, "What is that smell?" Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cute though, and she was like,
"Yeah, no."
And she went and got me a microwave. But I'm saying, like, people don't think about. They act as if your genitals are something that is so far removed in the grand scheme of cleanliness.
Well, and I've even asked if some men, it's like, have you tasted your own semen? And like, no. That's nasty. And it's like, you want somebody else to.
Or they suck your dick and you come and then you won't kiss them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's me. It's part of me.
It's a thank you for sucking your dick. I mean, I don't understand. So, especially if I did a good job. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, however, if it's not the right color, if it's thick, if it's, you know what I'm saying? Because again, if you're not drinking enough water, your ejaculate is going to be thick. So I have clients that maybe are trying to get pregnant. And I'm like, look, if your cum is too thick, the sperm can't swim through the semen.
They hydrated, my friend.
Water.
Eat your pineapple so it tastes good. I have seen some men's ejaculate that looks like tapioca pudding.
So
because
I'm
the
not
shit
saying
they
all people have that, but
Yeah.
I know that's in the world.
they got to be stronger because they swimming in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how is the sperm going to get out? And people don't know the sperm and semen are two different things. The sperm
Yes.
is not going to be able to swim through
The
the semen.
semen is the where they swim around in while
The
they're
Yes,
fluid.
semen is what the sperm swim in. And
Yes.
so the semen is designed to disrupt the pH balance. That's why I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I think I'm allergic to my partner. You're not. His semen is doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to
Right.
disrupt the pH balance to like juke the cervix and the mucus cap on the cervix to get the
Right.
sperm. It's basically blocking for the sperm to get it through the cervix so it can get to the egg.
Ooh,
Yo,
linebackers just come out.
you speaking that football language, getting through to a
I have a lot of men clients, and they
Yeah.
fuck with me because they
Yeah.
say, you know, you kind of like a dude. I'm not like a dude. Y'all just not
Right.
used to allowing women or making space for women to be logical and rational. And
Mhm.
so that is not the energy that I have. And
Right.
so I have male friends, and they're just like, I love the fact that I have male friends that are not trying to fuck me.
Mhm.
Right, like respect with, you know, if it's a straight man and a straight woman, and he has respect for her,
Right.
he doesn't know mentally, he can't compartmentalize that he can respect her as a
Mhm.
human being.
Well, it's
It
like,
has to turn, it turns into something, you know?
well, and it's the whole male thing of, if I like you and if I honor you, the best way to honor you is
With my
have
dick.
some dick. You
Have some
know?
dick. Would you like some
This is
penis?
this is what I bring to the table. Have some
Yes.
dick.
Have some
You know?
penis. And the thing is, like, I have male friends, my husband has female friends. We're not tripping
Mhm.
about none of that shit because I already told them, you ain't gonna find another me. So good luck.
That's so you and I met working with a polyamorous community, and
Mhm.
you are monogamous.
Yeah.
So I love that, and
I
to be in that
honestly,
space.
I was solo poly, like I said, back when I was pimping.
Okay, yeah.
Very much that solo poly, you know. And I told him, I was like, you know, but
Yeah.
he knew I was dating other
Mhm.
people. But once we got
Okay.
married, he was like, and I was just like, but we were having so much fun. So now, you know, we're dedicated to each other or whatever. But I just,
Mhm.
you know, I ain't tripping about it because I feel like sex is sex.
Right?
Now, if you fuck somebody and it's just
Mhm.
sex, I'm cool. Don't have that bitch. Don't be selling her no dreams. Don't have that bitch thinking she next. Don't be telling her my business. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Because that adds layers to it that I don't like. But if you want to,
Okay.
if you know, because in the marriage space, I'm much more comfortable with open, so we can fuck other
Mhm.
people.
Right?
But as far as relationship, not so much.
So let's talk about those layers. How do you
Mm-hmm,
differentiate between, like, we talk about sex, gender,
mm-hmm,
orientation,
mm-hmm,
lifestyle,
mm-hmm,
and attraction even.
mm-hmm.
So what does that breakdown look like for you? How does it start? And as an educator, and how would you explain all that
Okay.
breakdown?
Well, so I think attraction is like
Mhm.
who you know, who you're drawn to. Orientation is if you act on those attractions or not.
Okay. Okay.
Because you can be a woman and find women attractive and not
Mhm.
want to fuck them.
Right.
Sexuality is the quick way is like, okay,
Mhm.
gender is here,
Mhm.
orientation is here, and
Mhm.
sexuality is here. And that's how they manifest. Gender is who you are, orientation is who you love, and sexuality
Mhm.
is how you fuck.
Okay. Sex the actual sex, that's your
Mhm.
plumbing.
Yes, people are intersex.
I
So
always say there are three sexes.
at least they're way
Yeah,
more. I would think way more because depending on how intersex shows up, like let's say you have a
exactly.
vulva, but your
Mhm.
ovaries or testicles. That's
Yeah.
one. But if you
Mhm.
have a penis, but your testicles are ovaries, that's another. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just like there are no definites, there are no absolutes in science.
Right.
If you take a flower and you take two petals off the same flower, they're going to be different hex codes.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
there are no absolutes in science. And so I think, you know, when I think of plumbing, I like using
Mhm.
that language because it makes you like when you have, I do a training for medical professionals on how, again, sexuality is a social determinant of health.
Mhm.
So I'll talk to them about, okay, if a pregnant person comes in, blah, blah, blah. And they'll go, well, I'll ask her, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I said a pregnant person.
Person. Yes, ask
Right.
them.
Or we talk about, I even do this thing because I have, you know, I've mastered public health. I do this package that I offer where I evaluate intake paperwork. Yes, just send it to me and I will take a red pen to that shit and I send it back. And people be like, had this one, it was a gay service organization. And
Mhm.
they had for are you the question was, are you a cisgender man, a transgender man, a cisgender woman, a transgender woman? Like they had all these boxes, and I was like,
Right.
yo, what you're going to have to do now is if someone is cisgender and doesn't know what cisgender is, you're going to have to explain and have a whole sex ed lesson during this intake. Those are genders. That's not sex. So what I told them, the feedback that I gave them was gender, man, woman, non-binary, other.
Right.
Are you transgender? Yes or no? Now you've captured the information you needed. Everybody know what transgender is.
Right.
So you've captured the information. They identify as this. Their plumbing looks like this.
Exactly.
And you need to know who they're sleeping with. My partners are.
Right.
And then you can check off. Then I put men, women, non-binary, etc. And then the next one, my partners are, some of my partners are transgender. Yes or no? Then I know who you're having sex with.
Exactly.
Because when we're talking about, especially for AIDS service organizations, we're trying to track transmission and adherence to PrEP and who's using PrEP and who's testing, who's testing positive for HIV and who's testing positive for syphilis. And if there's so you need to know their sexual behaviors, but they don't need a fucking essay question.
Exactly.
And most of these people don't know that language.
And some people are ashamed to actually admit it.
I don't know what you want.
Male.
So you would technically be
a
cisgendered male.
Okay.
Straight.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I don't know him. You'd be a cisgender male and you consider yourself straight, right?
Yeah.
Heterosexual.
Okay, so heterosexual cisgender male.
Can you be a monogamous homosexual cisgender male?
Yes.
Yes.
That would mean that you're probably married to a man.
Yeah.
So what does cisgender specifically mean?
It means that you are born male and you were assigned male at birth and you identify as a man.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you are cisgender.
Got it.
You are what they said you. No.
Got it.
I'm not cis anything.
You might just this. You might just this. I would be a cisgender female.
Yes.
And the reason we're saying male and female is because man and woman are the gender terms.
Right. The male and female are the sex terms.
Yes.
Correct. The plumbing. The man and woman are the society expectation.
Exactly.
But you see, you didn't know that. I can look and say, this is a trans man's paperwork.
Yes.
And then people make assumptions about the way people have sex. So then you can say, my partners are, and you can check off man, woman, not binary, whatever. Some or all of my partners are transgender, and you can check that off as well. So then you know their sexual behaviors without having to say, or you can say, I participate, I have sex I have anal sex, oral sex, whatever. It depends on what the paperwork is for. If it's for a therapist's office, they don't need that much detail. But they do need to know who your partners are. They don't know what kind of sex you're having, but they need to know who your partners are. Or like I did a walkthrough for a clinic that was a gender affirming clinic in the neighborhood. They had a single use restrooms for testing, HIV, STI, pee in the cup kind of stuff. So single use restrooms, but they had a women's restroom and a men's restroom. I said, what is this? They're single use. And they're like, oh, so we should get all gender bathroom signs. I said, no, get a toilet icon. I said, because you don't know if your people can read.
Right.
Or if they speak English. You don't know if a trans girl come in here and it's the women's is taken, you expect her to go to the men's room, the dysphoria that would cause.
Exactly.
The dysphoria, like, come on, son, when you could just put toilet, restroom, and call it a day because they're single use.
Exactly.
Like people, only one toilet's in there.
Correct. One toilet, one sink.
Right.
So people overthink trying to be supportive too. A part of what that service looks like is me making sure that they're not overthinking. And it's a way that cisgender people think they're being phased out or erased or what have you. It's a way that everyone is seen and no one feels erased.
Right.
Of course, you're going to feel erased because your construct's erased.
Yes, it's bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just bigger. There are more opportunities. Yeah.
You know what?
It's more opportunities for other people that haven't been seen to be seen. And when people talk about trans folks or non-binary folks or gender expansive folk, the way they talk about, I was like, y'all sound like white people talking about black people.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Some cultures, view which they trigender and two-spirit folk as holy because they embody the masculine and the feminine.
Because we can walk in two worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like it depends on where you at.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? You're talking about the restrooms and having the toilet symbol. Anywhere I see a restroom like that, it has family on it. a
Mm-hmm.
male, a female, and
Mhm.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
Notice that?
sometimes you got to go with your child to the restroom, or
Right.
Mhm.
they need
But
their diaper changed.
anywhere like Target, Walmart, or
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be the freaking outlets that I was at in Round Rock with my family.
Mm-hmm.
That restroom has a traditional family unit on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the
And
idea that a mother that's out shopping with her son,
Mm-hmm.
that she doesn't want to
Yeah,
let him
yeah,
go
yeah.
by himself. It's like, okay, so now, and because I remember growing up, I went into women's restrooms all the time because I was with my mom. I remember that there were times when I had my goddaughter with me and taking her into a men's room, and sometimes it was okay, but every now and again, there's one that's not as nicely adorned. And
Yep.
so you see all the urinals, and she's at that height where that's right in her eyesight. Well, what's that? Is that an extra sink? No. And so
Oh, boy,
explaining what that is.
think people in there using them. That's the thing with taking
Exactly.
somebody into the men's room. In the women's room, it's all stalls.
Exactly.
So
And I
it's
think
like,
it'd be great if everybody just had a stall and you don't
yeah,
have to worry about it.
yep. I used to live
and
in
why
Boston.
can't you use a toilet at your house?
Exactly.
So why you need a urinal in the public restroom?
I just want to whip it out and pee.
You can't whip it out and pee it in the toilet?
You can
Yep.
Okay.
pick a tree to whip it out and pee
Because if
on.
I had a penis, I would be peeing from
Everywhere.
everywhere. I have
Well,
like
I
a
mean,
Google
yeah,
channel. I have like, it's
yeah,
called
but
Go Girl.
you can get in trouble for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, you can, but you could
Yeah.
pee. When I'm hot to try it, I got to squat.
Yeah,
Now
if I
for
gotta go bad enough, and I'm in the car. I'll just open the door.
So now they actually have public urinals for like festivals and whatever. Instead
Mm.
of the porta potty where it's the single use, they actually have this, it almost looks like the water fountains where it's just like several around in a circle that you can just walk up to. Yes. Yes.
Now I've been in porta potties where it had like a potty and it had a
And a
urinal in it.
urinal. Yeah.
This is an
This is
open
just
air round urinal
open
thing.
air. People are walking past you and everything. You just walk up, whip it out, do your thing,
And it
and
has little
then
side things on it, I
no,
guess.
it's just like it's a round thing, and there's portals all around it, and you just walk up and you pee into it.
No, there's no dividers.
Mm-mm, no dividers. I mean,
Well,
I
it's
can't
an
believe men
indention.
approved this.
Well, and
I'm just
again,
saying,
if you're not
Just
you know,
eating, if you're
like,
not invited to eat, it's none of your business.
yeah,
you know and
but
I have friends. When I lived in Austin, I had a lot of friends that were in we called it the hippie community, but just walking about, like walking in Whole Foods eating your kid because the kid was
Because
hungry,
you can. Because you can.
and you don't make a big deal out of it.
It's not a big deal.
Exactly.
it's nature.
Yeah, and it's not
I mean, because that's,
sexualized.
I think, oh my God, as a pregnant person, when I was the first time I had my son, I was so worried. I was like, I don't want to be aroused trying to nurse my kid because for my whole life, my titties ain't been used for feeding nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They've been used for sex my whole life. So now suddenly I'm supposed to feed somebody? Like I didn't want to, I was like, am I going to be aroused? And then the first time I did it, I was, oh, we ain't gonna be having no problems with arousal. That shit is painful.
Right.
So I was like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have no problems with arousal, at least. I was
Hmm.
relieved. But I was
Yeah.
so concerned because I was like, I ain't never used my titties for other things, they recreational,
Yeah.
and now suddenly I have to feed a human,
So
but we don't have those conversations, and we don't know how
exactly.
to normalize unless we actually address. And people want to address and not resolve. People want to have conversations that only affirm the way they believe. I don't think that we all think the same, and that's the beauty of it, and that's how society evolves. Like now, if somebody from like the 40s or 30s came now to see how you can go somewhere and see different people, different color people in the same place, and nobody's getting hung, or nobody's getting, that's crazy. That'll be wild to them. So I'm just excited to see how we continue to evolve. I mean, as a Black woman, I feel like, integration was the worst thing to happen to Black people since the slave trade. But that is not, I don't know how popular that opinion is, but
Right.
I am very much that. And so being a Black separatist in an integrated world,
Hmm.
work with everybody. Everybody don't pay the same price. but I work with everybody.
Well, thank you.
But I mean, yeah, because last time I went out there, I got pulled over, and the policeman told me, "Thank you for being so well behaved."
Ooh.
You won't go north of 635 for free?
Nope, there will
Mm-hmm.
be an invoice attached.
So 635 is a highway
Yeah, I
in
know.
Dallas. Okay, just making sure.
No, I used to live in Dallas.
It's I think it, and when you get into conversations around orientation and gender and identity and all those things, you do have to apply whatever their ethnic identity is and their racial identity
Hmm.
is, because there's so much acculturation that happens in addition to or surrounding sexuality, pleasure, mate selection, family
Right.
creation, you know, all of that. So, you know,
Many times I've said minorities don't always get along with each other. Like,
mm,
I'm Black under the trans umbrella, but sometimes I'm considered not trans enough because I accept my body.
mm,
I'm Black, and sometimes I'm considered not Black enough. And sometimes I'm considered offensive to the Black community because I'm gay, offensive to the gay community because I'm Black. There's so many different things that are going on.
be Black and gay at the same time. Or like me,
Right.
I'm married to a man, I have kids. I'm a queer Black woman married
Hmm.
to a cisgender male. He's in a queer relationship because he with
Hmm.
me.
Exactly.
I'm not queer enough to a lot of people as a
Exactly.
pansexual human being, because you can't look at somebody and tell their opinion for the most part.
Exactly.
So I definitely get it. Like you don't know where you fall. You're not Black enough for some people, or
Hmm.
you too militant for some people, or
Exactly.
and I'd be like, okay, well,
Well, thank you so much for this conversation. It has been eye-opening, uplifting, and of course, it has given me joy because I love spending time with you, Goody. And thank you so much
yes,
for coming in and spending time with us.
of course. Listen, I don't know if like Poly Dallas was like 2017.
Yeah, gosh.
That's nuts. We live in the same city, but I don't really be here. I be at the
You're
airport.
traveling all over the place. Yeah, I see it.
I was in
And
Houston last week.
even when I reached out to you, I was like, Where are you?" Because I hadn't seen you in a while. I was like, "Are you still in the area? What's going on? Where are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" But you stay on my feed, and I love that, and I am inspired by your unabashed authenticity.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And that is what, encourages me to be more of me. And for some of my friends that, have said, "Well, you've always been you," and it's like, "Oh no, this is just the things I think are palatable." There are so many more conversations that I would like to have, and I would like to have those publicly. Thank you so much for joining the public conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Look, when you said it, I was like, of course, what I gotta do? I was asking questions.
Right, right. So, and for this, because I just we always wrap up with a permission, and I want to give everyone permission to please themselves. Find whatever it is and just be in pleasure because that's closest to joy. So thank you all for joining us in the portal, and please like and follow for more. Check out our links in the description. Share this with a friend, maybe two, maybe a few. If you have questions or topics for us, send them to the permissionportal@gmail.com. And remember,
The portal is always open.